Ray is such a nice guy, right? But I can see why his company has gotten so big so fast.
It's one of the first legal tech companies that has a valuation of $1 billion.
I was on a Zoom with this guy, but he got upset because it was before it started, and he was arguing with somebody, and I saw like the business side of Ray, you know, and it's not somebody you want to fuck with.
If you're a person that can overcome very, very difficult challenges or obstacles, like that's a powerful individual. In a weird way, I feel like we're just getting started.
Welcome to this episode of Bourbon of Proof, where we interview those who have been both successful at law and life, and we do so over several high-proof spirits. And we're shooting on location today in Walter's studio in Phoenix, Arizona. Happy to be back here. We've had a few events here. And we have our first return guest on the show, Ray Mieszaniec.
Yeah, Ray
Mieszaniec.
I thought it was Mieszaniec.
Yeah, Mieszaniec.
And of course, our esteemed co-host, as always, the Mauro Fiore Jr.
Thank you.
Esquire.
Hello. Thank you for having me back as usual, Bob. And I'm happy to be here. We're ready to learn some stuff and do some drinking.
Yeah, and if you watch Ray's first episode, which we shot a few years ago, Ray's company EvenUp was in its infancy, and now we'll talk about that meteor.
It's literally actually just it's been a year.
It's only been a year.
It's only been a year.
Meteoric, moronic,
astronomical
rise. Ray is the COO and co-founder of EvenUp, which is one of the biggest legal tech companies in the world right now. You know, we start every episode with a pour, and we are going to do something a little special on this episode. We have Travis Davis at the AZ Attorney on Instagram. He's our whiskey sommelier. Travis, can you come on in here and show us what we're drinking, please?
All right, gentlemen. First up, we've got Dark Arts. This is a straight bourbon finished in Madeira casks with some French oak staves. Nice sweetness from the Madeira, but it's aged 7 years, so you've got some good age on it too. And 115 proof, so we're starting off nice and light.
Light.
Travis, thank you very much. This is also from a store pick from Trevor's, which is a local place here in Phoenix for buying good whiskey. Good thing for whiskey, or anybody wants to try whiskey, if you go out and you find anything that's a store pick, it means they actually hand selected that bottle. It's probably a little better than anything else. Always look for a good store pick. But Ray, the reason why we selected this for you is many people don't know your extreme discipline, not to the dark arts, but to martial arts, to being disciplined in every aspect of your life. And I think that's probably a quick kudos to you as to your hard work ethic to get your company where it is today. And Ray, I'm interested to try this one with you because I've never had the dark arts ever. So I'm going to put this one in the middle.
I like the name.
Cheers to them.
Cheers.
To street lawyers and street justice, right, Mauro?
That's right.
You know, before I got married, I always used to say to all the women that I love you, but I've chosen darkness. but then I fell in love and got married.
There you go. Mauro, why don't you tell us about the T-shirts we're wearing, by the way?
You know, if you're trying to you can't make up your mind, Simon Fiore, 24, write-in candidate. In bourbon, we trust always.
Because I think most good decisions are made over bourbon, and I think most people tell the truth. So if you get some politicians in a room and they drink some bourbon, things will happen. They might regret it the next day, but, you know.
So Trump doesn't even drink.
Really?
No.
Another reason not to trust him, I guess.
He doesn't drink, and he likes McDonald's. So I mean, on the one hand, I kind of like him. I see what he likes.
He also gets a hole-in-one on every hole. Golf that he plays. So Ray, tell us a little bit about. I mean, let's get the astronaut out of the room here, the elephant out of the room here, and you know, by the time this airs, it'll be made public that EvenUp is one of the first legal tech companies, especially one embedded artificial intelligence, that has a valuation of $1 billion. You are a You're a not even 3.5-year-old company. Can you just explain to us kind of what this journey has been like?
It's been absolutely chaotic, Bob. It's actually like I can't, honestly, every day has been like a fist fight, and like we're just honestly cockroaches in a nuclear war just trying to survive. That's what it feels like, and really grateful for everything that we've been able to achieve so far. But it's kind of interesting thinking about, when we've reached this, over $1 billion valuation at this point, I always would have thought things would look very differently in terms of the company, in terms of what we've created and all that. And in a weird way, I feel like we're just getting started. And so
Yeah, and it's wild because everybody watches Ray's origin story episode, which we talk a lot about Ray's steps from Vancouver, inspired by what happened to his dad and his catastrophic injury, and to build a better place for plaintiffs. I think people would be inspired by that journey. But also, one thing about Ray is, we talk a lot, and whenever he was going through this process, and I was just like, "Oh, Ray, how does it feel to have $1 billion company?" He's like, "Well, no different." I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm on a Southwest flight to like Chicago or somewhere random. It was somewhere like in the middle of the
Where's he going though?
the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
Would you take your Southwest jet to the moon? Because you have to have so many miles on it.
My Southwest jet. I'm a Delta flyer.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I'm I spend a lot of time on the planes, and it still hasn't hit me. Like the feeling of, I think I've always kind of struggled with also just trying to like stop and smell the roses and celebrate for a second. But
are you like that, Mark? Because it's hard for me to take a step back and like.
Yeah, I just kind of just keep going forward, and the yesterday was yesterday, and tomorrow's a new day. So you just got to keep. You're only as good as your last case. In our business, you're as good as your last case.
Right.
So you can never really, sit around and celebrate too much. But it's nice to celebrate and to appreciate and to, to feel grateful. But you got to keep grinding.
And plus, when Morrow starts moving forward, it's just momentum in physics. It's hard to slow him down.
Yes, once I get downhill, it's very hard to stop.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah.
Yeah. So Ray, tell us about how the company's grown in just the year and a half since your last episode, because you were you, two other founders, a handful of folks, and just had how many employees do you think you have now? You probably know.
Yeah, no, well, sort of, not really. It's grown to a degree that I don't even know exactly the number, but, now around 400 employees across the country, like across North America, so Canada and the US. Since last year, just being on like the episode, it's just been astronomical growth right here. Employees, we've added so many. We've doubled our revenue year over year. We're one of Bessemer's fastest growing portfolio companies
and Bessemer's the venture capital private equity fund.
Correct. That led our Series B.
So people know, what is, like, a lot of listeners, people don't know, we're all just bourbon heads and lawyers. What is Series A, B, C, D, E, F, and U, FU, Mara?
Well, I definitely know about F's in school for sure.
Yeah, just different funding rounds. So just basically, as we grow this business, we take on additional capital from venture capitalists and try to expand as much as possible, and use that capital to hire the greatest people to build the best technology and invest in R&D and all of that. And so we've gotten to Series D now, and so that's our kind of $1 billion mark, our unicorn status, if you will. And so many companies don't reach this point, and so it's just truly a testament to the team and the technology that we've created. Like, we've got a lot of badass.
Ray's also, I've spent time with him. We've spent time with Ray. I've traveled with Ray internationally. Ray, should we tell him our international names?
Well, no, that's actually the next. Where's Travis? I want to get this next whiskey pouring here, because this was the story I want to tell in this bottle. But don't tell it yet.
Okay, no,
because you have to see the bottle. All right, the AZ attorney Travis Davis.
Here we
what do
go.
we got here?
This one,
put it next to
down
these
the
two.
rabbit hole here. This is single barrel cast strength. This is their art series. Thought it was pretty fitting. This looks, kind of
Kind of like
familiar.
me if I had glasses.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like me and Morrow.
anyway, this is 108 proof, so we're actually going down a little bit. I think it's got some stone fruit, some chocolate cherry flavors to it, so it's pretty good.
Usually the rabbit hole stuff's good, so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you. So
Thank you,
Rabbit
thank
Hole's
you.
right down there, and you can take this in Louisville, Kentucky, right? It's right.
I love
Right
the
here.
image.
So yeah, and the other reason, though, I want to tell this story is whenever I travel, we do international travels. Last time we were in the Christmas markets over in Europe, and I think we were in Budapest for this story.
Yeah.
And like, Morrow has to find a casino anywhere we go in the world. First place we go. Okay, where's the casino?
They got a casino.
They got a casino. So he always finds the casino, and I don't like go to the casinos and gamble. So like, I'll go to bed early, and then Morrow will go out and just sometimes solo go to a casino, and he ends up winning a lot of money, then
I
loses
went
a
with
lot
Ray
of
and
money.
I crushed.
No, but yeah, so these guys go out into Budapest in the middle of the night, the two of them, and they make up names. They have aliases, so they end up going to a place in Budapest. Somebody gets kicked out. Tell me the story because I wasn't there.
Oh my gosh.
Well, first of all, my name when I travel is Rats Melbourne,
Yeah.
and it's 2 R's at first, so it's Rats Melbourne. And your name
Bulldogs Madrid.
is Bulldogs Madrid. So that's what we go by. And then people really, they always look at us funny when we tell them that's our names, but hey, it's Budapest. It could be anybody you want.
Yeah.
But when we went to Budapest, were you there one time we got thrown out because?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to a casino.
First
we went
of all,
to a casino.
cheers real fast. 'cause
We went to one casino where we won. Remember, we were winning.
No, we were crushing
We were
it.
crushing in
smells
blackjack.
good.
But then we tried to go to another casino, and Rob May and his wife came. And Rob May from the May firm in San Luis Obispo, great
He's
guy.
been a guest on the show, and his wife is Hungarian.
And his wife is from Budapest, so we figured we're with the wife,
Yeah.
who's from there. She speaks that language. How can they not let us in this casino? So we go in, and I was stone sober. I hadn't had a single drink,
Yeah.
right? Maybe one or two, whatever. That's some of that shitty wine in the Christmas markets. What is that shit called?
No, the
Glühwein.
Glühwein?
No,
Oh,
we were
Glühwein.
drinking.
We drank
the
Palinka.
worst.
Palinka.
Palinka, whatever the shit was. Okay.
No,
So they wouldn't
you-
let us in because they said I was too drunk. Meanwhile, Rob May was the one who was drunk
Yeah.
and acting crazy. And if you've been around May, Rob, when he drinks, he was the one they and they let him in, and they threw me and him out. They said we were too drunk to go in, and Rob could barely stand up when they let him in.
Yeah.
I think,
So it was
I think they're
bullshit.
profiling the two of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't want us in there because he was with his wife who was Hungarian. So I think they just said they don't want these two Americans.
Yeah. No, it was crazy watching that. Well, number one, I think
Yeah,
the
but
folks
you
were
don't-
staring
but
at us.
you have a Canadian passport,
I do.
and you used your
Italian.
Italian
I always
passport.
use my
That's why
Italian.
you guys got kicked out, you idiots. You should've just had your
No.
American
He
passport.
was cleaning house. So I remember when I was sitting there, number one, they're staring at us because, there's Morrow and then like a young kid next to him. Like they think we're counting cards. So
Yeah.
they're looking
Because
at
I was
us.
just on fire, man.
He was like, he whispered in my ear, I remember he was like, if this was the win, I'd be up millions right now.
Because
And I was like,
I was betting like house limited. It turns out it was like like $60 in equivalent. So like the most you could bet was like 100. What are those called? The name of their money over there.
Kron? I don't know.
Whatever
They
the
don't
shit
use the
was.
euro there,
It was
so.
like the house limit was like 100 of those, and I was like, I literally was up like 5,000%. Like I told Ray, I said if I was at the win, I'd be up $50,000 bucks.
Yeah, it was
Because
crazy.
it was just nuts. I couldn't lose a hint at that place.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But
and-
Ray is such a nice guy, right? But I can see why his company has gotten so big so fast because I was on a Zoom with this guy. And I don't know why I was on a Zoom with him, but he got upset because it was before it started and he was arguing with somebody. And I saw like the business side of Ray, and it's not somebody you want to fuck with because I was like, God damn,
So-
this guy's an animal.
Ray's known for being like the
guy's an
nicest human, growing community within your company. And I've seen the way that you deal with, he's on the phone. We even travel all the world.
Yeah.
He's on the phone all the time with his teams, helping them. But why don't you read what's on the screensaver for your phone?
No. I
You
do
might
not.
think recent or differently, but that's part of Ray's. He's got to. Ray says he has to turn a different switch to be able to run this multi-billion-dollar company, right? To
Yeah.
stop. Because you are intertwined with every one of your employees, and you just can't do that at a certain point.
Yeah. No, I like to the thing that I like to encourage within the company, within all the new employees that we get onto the company, and of course all the old ones, is I want to train them to be hard to kill, to be able to do really, really difficult things. And so if you're a person that can overcome very, very difficult challenges or obstacles, that's a powerful individual. And so I do tend to push people really hard at the company. And it actually recently I was watching the Michael Jordan, The Last Dance kind of documentary.
Great documentary.
And that's where I was I was listening to, how he kind of would tell himself things he would make up stories even to go crazy and win a game, right? And so I was just wow, that's really interesting because when you're super competitive, you have to really have a strong mind. And
Yeah, but you always have a smile on your face. And for those of you that don't know Ray, we're at a conference here in Arizona, a marketing conference for lawyers. And Ray's in his room a lot of the time just working, grinding, taking Zooms, and always on a plane meeting with firms. And I think that's kind of the founder mindset you have to have. But I just want to switch gears a little bit here.
He's like the Mo Green of the founders. Because Mo Green said, "Hey, Mike, I got to kick some asses sometimes. I'm running a business."
Yeah, no, number one, I want to lead by example, but number two, I never want to, I don't know, this is probably not scalable, but I never want to be like, I don't know, the person that just doesn't have time to meet our customers when our customers are the ones who even put us in this position to begin with. And so, like if it means to meet, our customers face to face at a conference, like if you're an owner of a firm and you're at a conference, then I'm going to be there too, right? To meet you eye to eye. And so.
And that's true. And I mean, one thing that we've seen, I think when you went through must have been your Series C, is we saw a lot of pretenders in competitors in the space. I saw right away after they announced that, I was literally getting targeted ads for people doing AI generated demand letters right away, right after that news article came out. And we see a new one springing up every other hour that claims to do what you do well.
Yeah. Still to this day.
Still to this day.
Still to this day, yeah.
So, I mean, how do you guys fend that off? Because now it's a huge competition. Everybody sees your success and they're trying to ride your
Yeah, I mean, there's
coattails.
going to be a Lyft, there's going to Uber, and there's always got to be a Lyft, right? So there's always got to be someone.
Well, there's no Lyft right now.
There's still no Lyft. And the thing is like, because, so when we first started the business, we were in this time where we had to we would talk to lawyers and we'd be like, hey, you should use AI in your practice. And they'd be like, AI? How the heck is AI going to help me run my practice? Like, I don't need AI. And then, after ChatGPT and everything came out, it kind of normalized AI, the AI's use and everything. And now everybody, if you ask them the same questions, like, oh, can we incorporate AI in your practice? They're like, I'm going to have AI run my whole practice. And so we're past this whole phase of needing to, I guess, educate or help people be open to AI. We're there. But the problem that we're experiencing now is people don't know how to even differentiate between the different AI solutions that exist. And so, from what I'm seeing is a lot of lawyers are being tricked into kind of snake oil companies where they're proposing that they can push something that's of high quality, high accuracy, which, this profession absolutely needs and requires if you're advocating on behalf of, victims of, personal injury. But that said, it's I just, I see so many folks just pushing out just products that they plug into ChatGPT or they plug into, Claude or Anthropic's models, and they're just it's going to produce everything that you want, everything that you expect. And at the end of the day, it literally makes my blood boil, because I'm just thinking look, if you're going to compete with us, at least do it right. Because at the end of the day, this might be thousands of cases that we see. This might be hundreds of cases that you see going through your firm. But at the end of the day, it's somebody's only freaking case, right? And to not care about that responsibility and take it seriously, don't even compete. Yeah, get out of the kitchen, because
you want to save a few bucks to use a product that somebody's oh, this costs $10. Why would you do EvenUp's product? Well, this is better. And you want to
absolutely. And the AI game is a game where you can't skip leg day. The reps matter.
Have you ever seen his calves before? He never skips leg day.
They're beautiful.
We actually should do a B-roll of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, just a nice pan on
They're beautiful. And you can caress them if you want later.
I will. I'll give them.
His legs are also naturally hairless, which is an anomaly to me as an Italian. As a co-Sicilian brother over here, it's very weird that he's a hairless from the neck down. No, but Ray, I mean, you guys have grown so much, but helped a lot of firms out. And I think changed the game, as far as I see it, in a customer service experience. Because I've seen your team boots on the ground helping law firms with not even using your product, just generally how to operate your firm better, holding conferences for them or webinars for them within their firm to be able to optimize their machine. Where does that come from?
It comes from this idea that we all share. It's one of our values, but it's to be thoughtful when interacting with our customers. And to be thoughtful, we want to offer our customers value beyond what it is that our services offer. And so when we're talking about meeting our customers and our audience within the community, it's if it means having a comedy night or some sort of fireside chat that's educational or something that brings people together to give them whatever it is that they need in that moment. So we work with tons of lawyers across the country, over 1,000 firms. And one of the things that nobody ever talks about is the fact that, you guys, in terms of the cases that you see day in, day out, there's a lot of messed up stuff that you guys read and consume. And that's that's damaging in terms of like
I mean, when I
mental health.
I have like super catastrophic, gory photo injury cases or wrongful death cases, I never look at the photographs.
Yeah.
Like of because it's just I don't want to see it.
That's like trauma that you're taking on, and that's where, you know, for us as a partner to firms, like I really want to be a partner that, you know, gives some of these lawyers just a place to just come together with a community that can relate and just be like, yeah, like, you know, there's some hard stuff that we're taking on behalf of our clients and like dealing with, and you know, if it's a Dodgers game or something like that we just enjoy together for one night or something.
But when you're at those moments, people collaborate, they talk about stuff, if you learn one little thing. But one thing you guys also do well, and I've seen some of the products that you have coming out.
So everybody knows us as this AI company that produces demands and medcrons, and during the process of drafting demands or medcrons, we'll surface insights like, hey, you have missing bills, records, you should go and get that. Or, hey, there's a gap in treatment of 30 days, you should now have to prepare and defend against that. But claims intelligence, what it does is, like, why do you have to actually deal with it at this point in time? Like, you know, why couldn't you have dealt with that sooner? So for example, with the missing bills thing, medical record retrieval, it takes you maybe 30 days, 45 days to actually retrieve those records. And so you're further elongating the time to resolution at that point. And so if we were able to let you know there were missing bills or records far sooner in the case, that could have saved you that time in terms of requesting those records.
Yeah, there's nothing that bothers me more than missing records, and especially when we know that they treated there and somehow case gets to demand or it gets even into litigation or we're missing a bill or missing a surgery
That happens all the time. It's hard because
really
they're continually
upsets me.
treating and it's hard to keep up with. And,
Or the treatment gaps, like why do you have to defend against the treatment gap of over 30 days when we can prevent it? Like we could have prevented it from even happening to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so claims intelligence, the co-pilot, moves upstream. So from the point of intake, we essentially, as you feed in documents of your case, so medical records, bills, police reports, handwritten notes, anything, we essentially produce real-time insights for you. So it exposes all the levers
and
of
their
which...
stuff is all hyperlinked, by the way. So like you can click it to verify the source, the medical record it came for. And that's one mistake. People are watching or listening to the show. Somebody tries to sell you an AI product and it's just a Word doc that it spits out. It's not hyperlinked. That's like red flag number one.
Right. But like exposing all the levers of which you need to pull to maximize the value of the claim. And then we actually have a component in there that's called Case Companion. And so you actually can have a conversation with all of your data and the raw documents themselves. So speak to your documents and ask it, hey, like, is there any instance of symptoms of XYZ that may be related to a traumatic brain injury? Can you pull that out for me? And it will tell you if it exists when the documents, and then not only will it give you an answer of whatever it is that you want to fetch or summarize, it will give you the source of where it got it from, and it shows you the exhibit right there and the exact lines or paragraphs that it extracted from.
It's just fascinating shit. Soon Ray's going to be able to run a law firm. We joke all the time. As I said, I want to go into doing what Ray does.
I want to try a case. I want to try a case.
For the past 30 days, every day I text Ray a new picture of a unicorn.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting ready for his unicorn status. I have a good one. I put Ray's. I superimpose his face on a unicorn.
That's right.
So Unicorn Ray, we're talking the better part of 25, 30 minutes here. And it's a shorter episode because it's your second one. We want to do an update with you, a refresher, because it's a huge milestone for you personally, your company. I know you're not going to slow down. And this is a different conversation we'll have from a year from now. But after we've had 2 pours here today, shorter episode, but out of the 2 that you had, which was your Bourbon of Proof and why?
Ooh, I mean, I like the dark arts one just mainly because of the story behind it, and there was a little bit of the Dungeons and Dragons.
Got a good vibe from that one.
But it relates. I feel like there's some magic there in terms of the dark arts, and it will further help me be hard to kill.
Hard to kill. Ray's
hard
to kill. Where's our sommelier? Can we get that dark arts pour back out here?
You signed my bicycle that I got for my
Back to the
50th birthday as
115.
Bulldogs.
Thank you.
I think that looks like one of your
I was
characters.
looking at
from
it the other
D&D.
day.
This is
and
a
it says
D&D
Bulldogs.
character.
Bulldogs, the international, the
you,
Bulldogs
Travis.
Madrid,
So you get another
and
pour.
Rats Melbourne, the international cybersecurity.
So Mario
Criminals.
just had his 50th birthday party, which we birthright. You get to have one last of your pour here, the dark arts. His 50th birthday party, and at the end of the birthday party, we had the old 97s, his favorite band, play, and they're awesome. He had it was like an e-bike with a sidecar.
Yeah, an
motorcycle.
e-bike with a sidecar that Gene Sullivan and Brian Virag gave me. And I had all my friends sign it with like those like paint pens. So, and I didn't really get around to looking at all of the stuff people put on it until recently, and I saw a lot of weird shit people wrote on it that I'm stuck with forever now. And I saw Bulldogs Madrid on there.
Bulldogs Madrid.
And I saw a lot of cool stuff, but it was a really cool idea to have that. And so I'll always have that bike and with all my friends' names on it. So it's a really cool thing I'll never forget.
Well, Ray, thank you for coming on another episode of Bourbon of Proof. You're going to down that one. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
To unicorn status.
Yep.
Do you know what an alicorn is?
Alicorn or a
My
decacorn?
daughter's educated me on this. An alicorn is a unicorn, but with wings, like a Pegasus with a unicorn.
Oh.
So what's your alicorn status? What are you going to be for that?
$1 trillion?
I don't know why I say the trillion.
With wings, like that means you can fly now. So. I mean,
To the moon, Ray.
I guess
to the
just
moon
next
and
year.
your Delta points.
Next
Thank you
year.
for coming
1 year
on,
from
Ray.
now.
1 year from now.
1 year from now.
Benchmark it.
Episode 3.
Exactly.